I get that opportunity, part-time job for like a high-profile families, which is exactly what I was looking for. And they were looking, for a chef to cook for them only at night, 5 people. So the 2 adults and 3 kids. So I start there. I meet that person, which was very nice. He was a doctor, a very nice chirurgeon doctor here in America. And I worked for him for 3 years as a part-time chef. So I made my experience and I learned how to be a chef for a private family in a private house, which is, I can say, it was different. It was really different.
Welcome to the Montclair podcast. This is Chris, your host. Today we have a special guest. His name is Yllan Laloum. Yllan is originally from France, from Paris. He has been working as a private chef for 15 years in New York. And today we get the chance to spend an hour with him, and we get to hear the stories, the struggles, and a lot of advice from him on how to become a successful private chef. So without further ado, please welcome Yllan.
Welcome to the Montclair podcast. This is Chris, your host. Today we have a special guest. I'm very proud and excited to have Yllan Laloum on the show. Yllan, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to be here today. Thank you, Chris. And I'm ready. If anyone have any question for me, I'm ready.
Awesome. All right, Yllan. So you're working in the US, right? You're working around New York as a private chef. That you have been doing this for many years now.
Yeah.
What's the one thing you would give, the one piece of advice you would give to a young chef that is trying to become a private chef?
So the first advice, for a French coming in America, like cooking in America, it's completely different than how we cook in France. That's the first thing. So you will need to have like a lot of courage and a lot of capacity of adaptation to be able, like to keep going, because America is not easy. Every day you have to fight to do your job. The people that we're working for, they are really, really demanding. So you always and constantly had to be around and make sure that they have everything they need, basically. An advice, if you do that job, you must be passionate about what you do. So it doesn't matter if you're doing in France or in USA, you will make it happen, just have to go on and make it happen.
So you have a background in restaurant and in Michelin-starred restaurant, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, I have. That was back in Paris, like 20 years ago. After school, I get to the Bristol, Plaza Athénée, and then many different luxury bistro, which is a type of food that I like very much. I like the farm to the table. I like that concept of bistronomy. Are you gonna do something great, very tasty? The portion are not too big. Very elegant. That's what I like. This is the food that I like, mostly farm to table. Yes.
Yeah. And do you think is it an advantage to be a European chef, private chef in New York or in the US, or even a French chef?
Oh, yes, definitely. I really believe that we are one of the best here in America. That's for sure, And if you want to have a good private chef, usually they call a French Mediterranean food, but French chef. That's what they like mostly. Yes.
Okay. And so how did you end up in the US? Because you said you worked in Paris in some impressive restaurants, most of them with 3 Michelin star, I think. How did you end up in the US, and why the US?
I mean, that was very funny, because I like that question, because everything started by, if you look back there, everything we were watching on TV, anything that was new to see, it was coming from America. So we just I just get that connection, and I was like saying to myself, one day I will be in America, and one day I just got in America for like 2 weeks, 1 week in Florida and 1 week in New York. And after that week in New York, just meet someone that just telling me if I want the position as a chef in the kitchen, it will be for me, and he will sponsorize me for 1.5 years. So I just took my
Yeah.
chance, and jump. And after then, that 1.5 year become another 1.5 year, and then I get my green card forcefully. So I was like, let's keep going in America, and I never stopped. Now it's been 15
How
years,
long has it been
and
now?
now it's
15
been
years.
15
Wow.
years so far, so far. But it passed so fast, and I have so many amazing opportunities here in America that I will not have in Europe, to be honest.
Yeah.
And especially France. France still very small, so you will not find constantly customer like you find in America. Very easy. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I understand. I understand. And
Mhm.
you said you have had a lot of opportunities in the US. Anyone offered you to open a restaurant there?
Oh yes, yes. We have some. You always have to be careful when people they say think, and the day after they say another thing. But there is people that they want to open a restaurant. But if you see today that there is many things that you can do, and certainly more money if you don't open a restaurant, because whatever happened, restaurant is risky, especially in America, in New York, or the tax are very high. Um, like to give you an example, like for like a restaurant of like 30 seat and 20 seat in terrace, it could be $1 million to start, just to start.
Wow.
The rent are very expensive as well, so it's a risk. I believe that today, even if someone asks me if I want to open a restaurant in America, like they did, I will say no, because I don't want them to lose money. I don't want to spend my time, which I know that I'm not gonna make that much money. So yeah, you can open a restaurant in America, but I don't recommend at that point.
Yeah, it's a different challenge. Huh? It's a different challenge
It's a
as
different challenge.
than
Yeah,
being
it's a
the private
different
chef.
challenge. Yes. So
Yeah.
uh, that's why. So, and one day I was working in a restaurant. There was a nice bistro in Madison Avenue. I was working there like for 2 years, and a little bit by little bit, I met a customer. And on the floor, I was just like looking around, if everything was okay, if they needed something, and I meet that special person. Say, Yllan, you do a great job. You should be a private chef. You should try. And I'm like, okay, but I don't know how to start with. And they said, listen, first
Yeah.
you have the agent, you have some kind of agency. They are really like specialized on it. You should go there and you should apply. Just put your resume and see. I did it. I did it for like 3 years, just getting there like
3 years.
like twice a month to see, hey, do you have anything for me? Do you have a part time? And the response that they were giving me, for me, that was really weird, because they were saying, listen, you have like 15 years experience. The problem is like, you are not a private chef. You cannot be a private chef. It's completely different to be a private chef and to be a chef for a restaurant. So at one point, I was like, I need to start somewhere. Give me a chance. At one point, I get that opportunity, part-time job for like a high-profile families, which is exactly what I was looking for. And they were looking,
Yeah.
for a chef to cook for them only at night, 5 people. So the 2 adults and 3 kids. So I start there. I meet that person, which was very nice. He was a doctor, a very nice chirurgeon doctor here in America. And I worked for him for 3 years as a part-time chef. So I made my experience, and I learned how to be a chef for a private family in a private house, which is, I can say, it was different. It was really different. And 3 years later, I
It
received another
is.
call
Yeah.
for like a full-time job chef for a very, very, very special person. Oh, okay. So I get my appointment. I did my food tasting. I remember that I made them like a Doversol, a classic Doversol, with some pomme vapeur, really classic. They loved it. They hire me. We signed a contract, and that's where my career as a private chef started. I worked for them for 3 years as
So that was
well.
15 years ago or 12 years ago.
Oh, there was no
Yeah.
less than that was like 8 years ago. Because first, when I arrived in America, I just did a chef for restaurant, and then I
Yeah.
switched to be a chef, a private chef. So basically, it was like 8 years ago. 8 years ago, nice family. They teach me a lot. I work with an entire team. So you have 5 housekeeper, you have 2 house manager,
Wow.
bodyguard. So it's a completely different story. I learned from there. I love it, and I keep going in that sense. Then the pandemic arrived. Everybody remember the pandemic. So that was really tough because I have to stay at home, and I couldn't go there to cook. So
Yes.
after almost 1 year, like everybody staying at home, I was like, let's do my own website, and let's be a private chef for many different people, different types of events, which is great also to do catering, not only a private chef. Catering is great too. And I start from there. I raise up my social media. I did a lot. I did videos on TikTok, to be able to be visible. And day per day, customer was calling me. You know, that's 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 the story basically. To get short. But anyone who wants to come in America and be a private chef, there is a lot of opportunity, especially for us European people and especially for French people. And it's still, 15 years ago it was, and still, and maybe more. There is a lot of demand for like very clean food, professional people, because notices that like in America it's really hard to find a nice staff, nice cook, nice chef, nice. So yes, there is we still have opportunity in America, and I recommend to anyone, if you want to have a great experience, make money, because it is very important. You work hard, but you make money, so people they know and they pay you for that. The best thing to do, if you want to private chef on your own, because you can be a private chef for family, or I just want to say that, so you can be a private chef for family and private chef for yourself. This is also two different things. So when you be a private chef for a
Yeah.
family, you have to know that you're going to work very, very hard for that family. You have to be available to don't have your Saturday, your Sunday working more than 8 days, 10 days, sometime 1 month without a day off, to be able to respond to the demand. This is the hardest part, because I give you an example. One day, I start at 6 o'clock at the morning. I do all day, so between the shopping, prepping, set up the table, cleaning, and then I finish. It was like probably 11, with a straight day. At 11 o'clock, I get home, and then I receive a beautiful message from from my boss, basically saying, "Hi, Yllan, how are you? Would you mind getting to the store right now and get some marshmallow and get some crackers? We're gonna do something at the barbecue." And that's where you realize, I'm like, wow. You just like, again, most of them, they are like this because they don't realize they are so rich and so powerful that sometimes they forget to be a human, the sense of, and she just told me, after like passing like 12 or 13 hours running away, go get some marshmallow for us. And at that point I was like, I have to switch. I have to do the same thing for myself, so I will control my schedule. So that's how, from chef for restaurant, I arrived to a private chef for myself. So because I think that way fit to me. So I can do my own schedule again. I can take my vacation. I can see my friend. I can see my daughter, my family, and playing a life, making money, and do what I like, what I love. Basically, I think it is a really complete, compared to what I did before, like when I was a chef for a restaurant. So you work for everybody, nobody work for you. You spend a lot of energy. You don't make that much money, and at the end, when you push the door, you still stress whole night. So that way, I think I find the way to do my job the best way it's possible, the best way it's possible. And I really enjoy it. And I will love to do that in France or in Europe in general, but still, like it's not
Yeah.
that easy. Okay. Yes.
Yeah, no, I know it is. It's there is many families that can afford to have a private chef, but most of the good families usually retain their private chef for a long time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I agree
And
with you.
it's not, the good jobs, I want to say, are not always open, so you have to wait until the private chef retires. Or
That's what we were saying.
do you like the life in New York?
I loved it. I
Yeah.
love it. But life in New York is really special. Huh? Again,
Yes,
the
I
city
totally
that
agree.
never sleep. This is true. So yes, I love it. But today, with my age, I think I just want to slowing down a little bit. But New York is amazing. It's always something happen. Always something new. That there is something that you don't have anywhere. I can tell because I've been in Europe, I've been in Spain as well. Uh, in general, there is that atmosphere that you cannot feel nowhere else except in New York. Um, but yes, New York is really nice, very very nice place.
Yeah. What's your favorite thing about being a private chef?
My favorite thing about being private chef today is like meeting a lot of different people, be able to cook anywhere. This is a challenge, because you could have like the best kitchen ever. You are a very skilled chef from a restaurant, but if you don't have your oven, if you don't have your special thing, your special place, you're gonna be lost. So this is another thing that I love. You always have to adapt yourself with everything that you have around you: people, equipment, space, type of food, grocery store. That's a lot of different things.
And so, Ilan, what do you think about a private chef life? Does it, because you're working so close to very influential and very powerful families, which mean you probably are under strict confidentiality and you probably don't socialize with many people. So do you feel like it's a lonely life, or do you
Not at
manage to
all,
still see
because
people outside work?
not at all, because there is things that you can set and things that you cannot, but mostly when those people hire you, they do a background check
A
on
background check.
you.
Yep.
Yes, background check on you. They take you at least for 3 weeks, 1 month, to see if you have a nice character, if you cook the right way, if you are clean, because it's really important in the kitchen.
Yeah.
But no, basically, you can say mostly everything except like taking a picture of a personal thing, or the first floor, for example, where they're living.
Mm-hmm.
But no, no, no. Mostly, I don't feel like this is something that I have to hide every day.
But in terms of your private life, do you feel like is it a lonely life? That's what I'm trying to get.
Oh yes, 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 definitely, definitely, yes, yes, because again, you are traveling a lot. because I'm not staying in New York as a private chef. I can do New Jersey, I can do Connecticut, I can be in the West Side one day for 1 week in Los Angeles. So you never know. So you have friend, but you cannot attach for real.
Yeah.
You always around. So it is true that at one point you're lonely and you need to fix yourself somewhere. So it is good when
Yeah.
you have 20-year-old to like 40-year-old, but at one point you're looking for something else. That's where I am today. Yes,
Yeah. Looking for something else.
absolutely. Yeah.
What's your next move? What's your next move? Do you think you'll stay in New York for another few years, or do you have any other project, any other
We
ideas?
have a project. I cannot say anything right now about it. So there is a project. Yes. What I would like is like to be able to travel, to stay a little bit in Europe and then a little bit in America. That will be my dream, to be able to share like two different continents and not staying, especially in Europe. I love Europe. I love France. But again, the opportunity are not many over there. So I would love to be able to travel. So we have an idea of what we might have a plan to be able to do that. But for now, I am in New York and I'm staying in New York
Yeah.
until next year, and we'll see.
When you say we have a plan, we have project.
So I have one of my customer that we are very close to. I know his family for 3 years. We were talking about restaurant again. Yeah, he told me, "Do you want to open a restaurant?" And I'm like, "Yes, no." So when you are not sure at the first place, you should don't do it. So we didn't do it. I don't want to lose an opportunity that I could have with that person, and don't make what I have. Like the right thing. So yes, we have a project. He's an American Wall Street guys, let's say. And yes, we might have a project between America and Europe, but we still, we're still thinking, we're still looking, we still, we are not there yet. So for now, again, I'm in New York, and probably next year by July or September, I'm going to do a move and do something for real, to change my life again
Yeah.
and make it better.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
that's why not? It's a good idea. You've done your time in New York.
I think so. And
And
family is really
do you have
important.
any? Yeah, sorry.
No. I was saying family is really important too. So I think at what point you need to fix yourself somewhere, and try to take the best of the experience that you had for those 15 years and make it something happen. And that's what I'm going to try to do. Basically, when I come in America, I was a kid. I was a young kid, cooking, happy every day, and I grew up in America, in many way. So I'd like to
Yeah.
take that experience and try to do something special for myself for the next step. Yes.
Yeah. Do you feel like you're too old now to be a private chef?
Not to be a private chef, to be chef or
Is there
restaurant private
is
chef.
there like an expiry? Is it like an expiry date on the private chef?
I
Do
think.
you
I
think
mean, I
you
think
get
so.
less
Yeah.
good after 40, 50? What's
Or
the
I
deadline? What's
think.
the
I
time?
think. I think you cook. When you pass 50, you are completely cooking. That's how we said here. So, yeah. So I'm not willing to do that all of my life, but cooking is like something that I will always do. That's for sure. But
Yes.
different way. There is many way. Again, today I am an American citizen, so I'm very lucky. So I will probably plan something to do a move from, like
Yeah.
be able to move from each continent, probably, half years here and half years over there. So let's see. The world is open.
Yeah.
And I recommend to any young private chef in France, or any young chef or any chef de partie or commis, just travel, had another experience, see different people, different mindset here. It's completely different than in Europe. They are thinking differently. Not that I want to say that they are thinking better, but they are thinking differently. So when you manage to have those set mind, you can do something else. So I recommend to those young people to travel, to learn, to see, because there is so many ingredients that you have in America and you don't have also in France. Or it's like American cuisine is a fusion. So you will find a
Yeah.
little bit from Japanese, Chinese, Italian, no, because there is not a real American kitchen. We're gonna say barbecue, burger from Texas, chili con carne. This is the real American food. There is no much, but in New York especially, there is a lot of fusion. So you can work with some super product that you will never find in France, or very expensive product. For example, last week I find albinos caviar. So it's really, really rare. The white caviar, albinos. The taste was amazing. The color, just an example of what kind of product that you can have and you can buy easy here in America. Also, there is a new thing just coming, is eggs, snail eggs. This is a new thing. I don't know if you hear about it. I mean, but in America, it become the big boom.
Yeah.
And
It is prepared like caviar, right?
it's
Because a friend of
exactly
mine
prepared.
was living in the center of France next to a snail farm, basically, and they were looking at ways to promote their, to sell more product, basically. And the snail is, it's one thing in France. Maybe it's very big. Maybe you can export it as well to some countries. But the eggs, some of them, they were actually producing what you call the gold caviar or white caviar, and it was snail's eggs that was cured and prepared like caviar, basically. So,
and the taste is really good. I had it, at the first time I was like, oh, this is really weird, escargot snail. But we are a chef, so we test. And on top of a crostini, some walnuts on top, some hazelnuts or something on top. That was really, really delicious. And this is something that you can find, You can find also truffle, very famous here. People love it. So you can find truffle, or you can even order from Europe. It is not that you can find anything that you like. And what I like also in New York, that I've been lucky because I met a lot of very nice chefs, very skilled chefs. For example, a Japanese chef is a real Japanese chef. They do like amazing thing. I worked 2 years also with an Italian chef in a bistro. So I learned how to do pasta, fresh pasta every day, gnocchi, like so many different kind of things that you are in New York, and from the left you're gonna be in Italy, and from the right you're gonna be in Mexico, and so it's a beautiful fusion that you have even in the kitchen that make you smile. You can have a Korean guys just coming, a Chinese, a many different type of people. Everybody try to teach you something, so this is amazing. I mean, like New York is amazing, definitely.
Yeah, it's a lovely city, and I guess you get to discover so much from the city and from the people that either pass through or live there. One question, Yllan, is I was wondering, do you have in mind a time when you faced a challenge as a private chef? Like, do you have anything that you had to overcome as a chef, as a private chef in the US?
Oh yes, there are many challenges. So let's start by the first challenge, which is like when you want to be a chef for yourself again and open your own company. A lot
as a
of stress.
freelancer, you mean, or as a contractor, or
As
running
a
your
contractor,
own business, basically?
you open a company, and the beginning, you have a lot of doubts because being a private chef for yourself, it's different because every day you have to find people to make sure that you can live, basically, pay your rent, eat, pay your social security. So all of this is really scaring in America. You cannot just lay down and say, okay, today I'm sick. I'm not going to do much effort.
Yeah.
It's going to be okay. Tomorrow it's a beautiful day, No, in America, this is the side that I don't like that much. There is no social at all. In Europe, we have too much social, and over there is no social at all. Especially when you don't make that much money yearly, everything costs. You want to live in New York, it costs. You want to have a nice food, a clean food, it costs 3 times the price. So this is the challenge that I faced at the beginning to start being a private chef. Okay, it's like finding the customer to be able to afford myself day per day. That was, very stressful because when you're a chef for a restaurant, every week you're gonna make your salary. It doesn't matter what happens. So you do much effort or more or less, you will have. And so this is the first challenge. The second challenge is like you are facing a family that are living in that space and that environment at the beginning. You kind of impressed, because when you are in your kitchen as a chef for a restaurant, you're gonna stay behind a wall and you're just gonna talk to your team, basically. Being a private chef for a restaurant, you need to be in a good mood every day. You need to smile. You need to say yes. You need to not to hide things for later, but doing now. When you have to clean something is now. When you have, when you come back from shopping, you just come back from shopping. You have to put everything in place. There is no time for later. Everything has to be done now, and also you are facing people that hopefully they come to you and they say, "Hey chef, are you doing that recipe?" And you are in the middle of something. When you be a chef in a restaurant, you are like, "Peace, oh, let me work or do that." You can say whatever you want. But just at that moment, being a private chef for family, you have to keep your self-control. And so you take it because sometimes you don't want to speak, but this is a thing between a nice private chef and also like a regular private chef, that the way you can just like interact with people, sharing recipe in the middle of something, not running everywhere, be able to stay in a table for 10 minutes and explain them what was that. Improvisation, it's really important as a private chef. Improvisation. On top of improvisation, you have to be organized, that's for sure. But a lot of improvisation, that's really scary at the beginning because from an example that we were saying last time, Chris, it's 8 o'clock at the morning. You send your menu that you want to do today for those people. They respond to you and they say, okay, so I want this. Fine. We're going to be 8. Okay. It's 8 o'clock at the morning. 2 o'clock p.m. afternoon, receive another message. We will be 16. 16, and we will not start at 7. We will start at 6:30. But not with the food. With some amuse-bouche, some that we were not speaking about, talking. So you have to improvise, but you have also to, how did you say that in English? To be able to produce things before they ask. To be able to set up your mind to see what they like without of them to have to speak to you. Remember things. They have allergy. Remember things could be very, very dangerous. So each of those persons that you want to working for, they are clients, a different client. One doesn't like mushroom, one like the steak medium rare, one like the steak well done. Well, so so every day it's constantly that you have to be awake, basically. And this is a part of the job that you could be very hard.
This client facing aspect of the job it's something that is, I think, probably the hardest part of being a private chef, in my experience at least, is the fact that you need to not only be able to cook and, like you said, be clean and be organized and be fast and be efficient and be respectful of all the rules and all the diets and everything, but on top of that, you have to be able to go to the table, smile, and, like you say, improvise and tell them a story about the food, even if for you the recipe you've made is just this is a Dover sole. Like, what can I say? But they want to hear more. They want to hear you talking about the Dover sole for 7 minutes, because they want to know who caught the sole and where it was from and what kind of hook they're using and what time you woke up this morning instead of sleeping to go to the market and get that fresh fish for them. So it's all about the show, and I guess it's not just about cooking.
No, it's not just about cooking. You have to be complete again. They will have a guest on Saturday, and it has to be the menu has to be discussed in advance and put it together. But day per day, they are not expecting like 3 Michelin-star food. The only food that they like is farm to table, clean food, less oil, sometimes gluten-free. It's really important because they have a lot of dietary restriction that from a day to another they want to follow. Tomorrow, 1 week no sugar, 1 week no gluten, 1 week only grilled vegetables. So, you have to adapt yourself. But like you said, mostly they are not looking for 3-star Michelin food. They want a good food, the food that they can find, for example, in Europe, anywhere where you have like a very nice bistro, for example, you can have a nice seasonal garnish, a nice sauce, and a protein in the plate, So basically, that's what they want. And sometime, like I say, on a Saturday or on a Friday when they have a guest, they want to impress them. So you do something a little bit more elevated at that point, Yeah.
Yeah. Do you prepare everything yourself, or do you work with local suppliers? Let's say if there is a bakery down the street that produce amazing pastries or amazing cake, do you allow yourself to buy this product? To say like, look, I've got this strawberry pie that's been made by this award-winning pastry chef down the street, and I'm preparing. I'm just gonna suggest it for you today as an option for dessert. Do you allow yourself to do that, or do you feel like it's cheating?
Yes, no, absolutely not. And they will know, there is no cheat. So if you want to do something here, around here, there is not really like a good bakery. But anyway, if you want to do, if you want just to buy the pastry dough, if you don't have time to do, or the equipment, to do, I take the base, the pastry dough, raw, and I do my thing. Now, yes, I'm working especially in the summertime. We have a farm all around the house. So basically, you go to the farm. They have seasonal vegetable. They could have like a nice honey bee, from like 5 miles away. A nice cheese, a cure beef. I'm trying to do basically work with a farm, before going to the big supermarket. But unfortunately, you don't find anything that you want in a farm. It's always limited. But during the summer, I am going to the farm early morning. You have to go over there between 7:30, 8 o'clock maximum. Otherwise, you will have a lot of traffic. And there, you can do your shopping. You can buy some fruit, some vegetables, some, I have a butcher also very close. It's a really, really nice butcher. So sometimes I get my meat over there. The fish market is excellent. So I have a good feeling with my fish guy. So he send me like once a week anything that he will have, and I will order from there. Nice fresh fish. We don't definitely work with a frozen food. And everything that we made has to be made by scratch. This is the deal at the beginning, You have to do everything. I hire a private chef. It's basically to do everything by scratch. It could be a pesto. It could be even a mozzarella, You can do yourself. So I'm trying 90% to do everything on my own. When there is a lot of guests, unfortunately, we cannot do as much as we want. Especially that you don't have like a staff around here that you can have, for
Yeah.
one night or 2 nights is really difficult. They don't speak English, so you have to speak Spanish, and most of them. Yes, but that's what I'm enjoying summertime. It's because it's better, so you can go to farm and just buy your own supplies, fresh, where they come from. And basically here in the house also we have a small garden, so we're growing like a little cherry tomato, jalapenos, pepper, cucumber, the basic thing. A lot of herbs, marjolaine, thyme, rosemary, tarragon,
Yeah.
we have mint. So I'm trying to do with everything that I have around me, I'm trying to cook with everything I
Yeah.
have around me. Yes.
No, why not? This is the best way to do it, I think.
Oh,
And
yes.
did you ever fail to deliver? Is there any occasion where you remember that you kind of you
Oh,
screw it up? Or
many
how
times
can I put
because
it?
yes, many times because I am really perfectionist, so I will never be happy. That's the thing. That's the first thing. And second, no, I never had a very very bad experience. Never had an experience like this because I believe first light at the morning when I come in my kitchen is to realize something, and I want to make it happen. I want to make it good. It's a mental that you have. So, and basically all of my customers, they always been happy. As you know, those type of person, they will never tell you that or yell on you saying that it was very bad or you didn't do the job, but they will always saying to you when it's really good. And people, they always saying to me that's really good. Honestly, I'll do the job. I'm getting at the table for the appetizer. I'm explaining them what we have around the table. Everything is hot, fresh, clean. No, basically no. And I think the day I'm going to start disappointing people, I have nothing to do anymore in the kitchen. It's not for me anymore. But like I
Yeah.
said, you need to be passionate to do that job, as you
Yeah,
know.
no, 100%. It's a tough job. It's a tough job. You got to spend many hours, and you got to be switched on all the time and
Oh yes,
expect the unexpected.
yeah,
Because we're talking about families as well that have the means to do anything, anytime, basically. And if they want to invite 20 guests, or if they want to, they have some extra family coming by helicopter tonight, it's just gonna happen. So you
yeah,
have to be ready.
absolutely. I had that family. One day they have a house in Southampton, and for example, they want a caviar in the middle of the afternoon, and here in Southampton you don't have like very good caviar, so they send someone 2.5 hours from here to get the caviar and come back. So to give you an example, the eccentricity of those people, they have money, they show that they have money, but again, they are really generous. Most of them, my
They
client
spend it.
person,
They spend it, which is great.
they spend money. So anything that you're gonna make, put it back in the economy, and like
Yeah.
don't save it. And that's what they do. So pretty much everybody's happy, to work in America because again, you have that you make money,
Yeah.
you work hard, but you have also that atmosphere that you feel you will never be like sad, like because the economy is bad or because they don't do a new thing,
Yeah.
like it's it's like it's on fire all the time. There's no question.
Yeah, yeah. No, you definitely work in a bubble. I mean, the industry is, you are slightly isolated from the rest of the world in terms of the economy and what's happening around you,
Complete-
because you
com-
work for these families.
Complete.
Ilan, let's talk about money a little bit. You've been doing this for 10, 12, 13 years now.
Mm.
Because as a private chef, I know as well very well that there is no retirement plan. There is no one taking care of your own
Yeah.
retirement. So what do you do for your retirement? Do you save? Do you invest? What's your idea of saving?
Mostly, it's good to save, huh? So I save as well, but I invest my money mostly. You are in a kind of country, or you will make a lot of money if you invest in the right way. So mostly, yes, I make my money. I save some. I pay what I have to pay. Again, the rent, the car, insurance,
And the
life
tax man, don't
insurance.
forget the tax man.
That the tax are the worst. So and basically I try to invest because this is the way they do American people. In Europe, we are more like we need to save the money. The saving in Europe and especially in France is really big. And I
Yeah.
understand that, because there is no much opportunity, especially at that time. So people, they prefer to save. But in America, the money get in, out, in, out, in, out. And yes, it's always good to reinvest your money. Retirement plan, I have one here in America that I opened 5 years ago. And always constantly I don't leave much capital on my bank account. And again, I try to invest stock market.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. Like, what's a couple of things that you could do as a private chef if you work in the US and you're making good money? What's the ideas?
The idea
Stock
for me,
market?
some people, I have friends that they invest in houses, apartment, everywhere. Miami, especially because the tax are really low in Miami. Nobody buy in New York, and they rent Airbnb,
Yeah.
This is not a thing that I'd like to do. First, because you have to be able to move, or to have a house manager over there to take care of the house, or just fix things, in the house. I prefer, personally, I prefer to invest my money on Wall Street, because it's been like many years that I'm learning. I'm not a real professional, but I did some investment that today show me that I can keep going and make it better. But mostly the stock market, that's how they do. To be honest, that you are a chef or you are a millionaire or billionaire, that's what they do in
Yeah.
America, mostly. The economy is good, it's
Yeah.
great, constantly, probably 300 days during the years. So why not, SP 500 is very high because
Yeah.
people here working very hard and constantly, because they need money as well, because when you are medium class in America, you still suffering, because there is a lot of things to pay, so the goal is to it's just to plan, I guess, and invest your money and plan to have a return after 5-10 years. That is my plan, personally.
Yeah.
But if you want to
Yeah.
be again secure and having something for real that you can see as much as you want, I recommend to invest on any kind of apartment, house.
Yeah. Real estate is always
Real estate is the best,
almost the number
definitely.
one thing that people advise you to invest in.
Absolutely.
It's quite easy. It's easy to understand.
It's easy to understand, yeah. But there is no small saving. There is no. I think you should do a mix of everything, huh? Saving, investing. Um, this is the best way to do, huh? To be able to
Yeah.
have something, because as a private chef here in America, again, we don't have any retirement plan automatically, so you have to pay for it. Your insurance, we don't have any insurance like in France. The social security provide you a lot
Yeah.
in France. People that they never travel, they don't
People don't
realize.
realize this.
I
They
can
don't
tell you,
realize
after
that.
being away 15 years, this is amazing. We don't want to lose this. This is amazing for our kids, for us, for old people. Amazing. So I will keep that. This is, the bad thing in America
Yeah.
that you have to pay an insurance monthly. I give you an idea. Could cost me $700 monthly just for my
Yeah.
insurance that I'm not going to use, maybe for like 4, 5, 6, 7 months. One day I'm going to become sick, and I'm going to use it, but you need it. Car insurance, very expensive as well. Car, very expensive. Gas, really cheap.
Yeah.
Rent, really expensive. This is the first
Yeah.
thing on your budget. It's like 35, sometimes 40% of your salary.
Yeah.
It could get high.
Yeah.
So people, what they do usually, if you have the lux, you're gonna be alone and find a nice one-bedroom apartment. But if you can, that's how I did when I started in America. I was sharing. I had a room in an apartment. So basically, we were like five. You were 5 rooms in a house, and each of us has a room. And at that time, it was really expensive. So a room can cost like $800, $1,000 a month just for a room. So you enjoy the room. Also,
just for
you
the
have
room.
a bedroom, you have a kitchen. But this is the first budget, I guess, in America when you are a private chef, because firstly, when you are a private chef, you want to be in New York and around New York. So you have to live very close. You cannot afford to live 1.5 hours from New York with the traffic.
No, of course not.
So this is like 35% of your own money every month. Gas, electricity, cheap. Food, expensive. Traveling, really expensive. Insurance, like we were saying, very expensive. So you have to work like 3 times that what you work in Europe to be able to live like the right way. People here, you can believe, Chris, they have like 3 jobs. My housekeeper, she's coming at 6 o'clock in the morning, right? She finishes at 2 o'clock. Then she has another house until 8 o'clock. And then after 8 o'clock, she's going to take a break for like half an hour. And then iron clothes until 9:30. So to give you an idea, those people, they are fighting. They are fighting. And I just want to say something that is nothing to do with or something to do. I just want to say that people in Europe, we don't realize how good we are, how amazing life we are, quality of life. We are so amazing over there. And we don't do much effort. Today, our country need like more work and less demand. I want more money. I want this. People today, they want everything right now, right here.
Yeah.
French people today, they have to wake up. The world around France, it has changed a lot, a lot. It's a speed. And France, we're getting very slow. We're gonna die if we keep going like this. We have to wake up. Young people have to wake up. Travel again. That's what I said. Travel. Look around the world, and especially again in America, Canada. See how those people, they work so hard. And I'm not talking about the Asian, they are working so hard here in America too. Mexican people, you should see, they have 3 jobs. And in France, we are crying. Come on, so this is just a little thing. We want everything right now, but we don't want to put the effort for it. We have to change. We stop blaming the politics. Stop blaming everybody. You have to work.
Yeah, it starts from the mentality, that's for sure. But like you said, in the US, the mentality is different, the culture is different, and perhaps there is some amazing opportunity, but it's also harder for the people on the bottom to survive. When in Europe, like you said, or at least in France, or most countries in Europe, we have social security and social care that helps people just maintain the lifestyle, even if it's not the highest lifestyle possible. It's still a very comfortable one compared to most countries in the world. So that's something we should not forget. And you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
So Yllan, what do you do for fun in New York? Did you take on some sports or some new activities since you arrived to the US, or?
Yes, so I'm still doing fitness, as much as I can, because it's not easy when you work so hard, or usually, I like to take fly and just go to Miami. I really like Miami, like 2.5 hours ago. away. You just land, and you short, and I have a lot of friends in Miami too. So when I want to have a fun, mostly I'm going to Miami for a weekend. I'll have a dinner with my friend in New York. I'm a biker. I like motorcycle as
Yeah.
well. So this is a thing that I love very much. But mostly what I love is travel, just like take a week and just go somewhere. Could be anywhere. Las Vegas is really nice to have like 3-4 days in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Rock and roll.
Yeah.
Nevada is beautiful. If you walk around, you have a
Yeah.
beautiful mountain and the paysage are
So
really beautiful.
next time we do the podcast, we can do live from Miami, and you can be sitting on the beach, and
All right, with a little cocktail, that will be
that would
great.
be nice. That would be nice.
And also
Yllan,
in
before I let you
Miami,
go,
okay.
yeah, sorry, go ahead.
No, I say also in Miami, they have another way to eat. It's more like a snacking over there than like a regular food. It's completely different. Over here, you're going to sit and have your meal. Over there, it's always between two. They have a lot of snack, a beautiful snack, but it's not like the food that we eat here.
Yeah.
That's it. Thank you
All
very
right,
much,
Yllan.
Chris.
Last question, Yllan. Last question before we
Yeah.
go. You have an hour to spend with anyone in the world, past or present, and you get to eat somewhere. Who do you share this 1 hour with, and where do you eat? It can be anyone from now or someone that's passed away.
It could be
Who do
two
you choose?
people or no?
Okay, let's make it two.
My father definitely, and my daughter. My father and my
Yeah.
daughter.
Have they
Definitely.
met?
I'm sorry.
Did they met?
They met, but she were very young, and my father was already very sick at that point. So she doesn't have like a good souvenir of that time. But yes, if I can
Yeah.
bring like two people and spend 1 hour right now, it will be my father and my daughter. And
And where would it be?
what will it be? Just a walking,
Yeah, where?
Or where? Anywhere.
Yeah,
Whatever, it's not where you are, it's, the quality of
it's who
people
you
that,
with.
yes,
Yes.
So, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I would love that for you, Yllan. That would be awesome.
That
Thank you
would
so
be,
much, Yllan, for the time. That was really, really, really nice conversation.
thank you, Chris.
If people want to find out more about you, where can they find you?
Or they can find me on TikTok, Instagram, anywhere on the social media. And again, if you just type my first name and last name on Google, you will have all of the information if you want to reach out to me anytime, no problem. I will respond to all of your questions. If I can help anyone here in America, for someone that he wants to come and find a family or a job, I can help as well. Just let me know. We'll do my best. That's
Yeah.
what we do.
Thank you so much, Yllan.
Thank you,
Thank you so much
Chris.
for your time.
Thank you.